Okay, today I'm going to work on this area and this area for sure. I want to put the second coat on. This only has the first. This has about 3. Put a little stuff in there yesterday. And this, but where I really worked was on this and this little area in there. And so I'll eventually get to the leaves and complete this part. That'll be a punctuation thing. They're kind of in place. They just have to be refined a bit. This part won't take long, but I want to be done with this by tomorrow. I don't want this to go into beyond a 6th session. Currently, this is about a 4 or 5 hour painting, an actual painting time, so it's really not bad for where it is. I hope that the segments are working. Some of them have sound issues. It's in focus. I took the autofocus off because I think what it was doing was it was focusing off of me, and I couldn't really tell. I'm going to work on this flower first because I've got the best reference right there, and then I've got that one, and I can work on these, and I want to get the next coat of shadowing on. I got this part through there pretty well, so this just needs a little bit of work on it. Not much, but when I say not much, it might end up being a couple hours, who knows. Now let's see. I think I'm going to start with a flat brush on this. I've moved my colors up a bit, I'm just going straight white and clean up a couple of edges here, like right there, and leave the shadow. The background will clean up anything going that way. That'll be fine. And it's got a little more activity there. That all kind of goes into the center of this thing, like that. That's the beginning of an inner petal. And that's kind of how you create some transparency. And then that's one. That's one. That's better. You know, bold brush. There you go. On a roll. Painting is sometimes no nonsense. You just get to it and do it. And see how that works there. Now that's kind of critical. And then you very lightly kind of get some of this in and start breaking that up and just highlighting that edge, but you don't go into this too much. And I don't like, well, I'll put it in anyway. Cover it up. Might take a little bit there, but anyways, light is hitting that, and then it comes round and you pick it up. And I do want to take this off the canvas there. Clean it up as I go, but you see how transparent white that is? That's because it comes off of a white canvas, and then this kind of goes that way. And that kind of worked pretty good. Now, let's see. And so that's kind of the beginnings. There's a little thing right there that will eventually come out and get all of the paint out of the furrow there. Let's see. I think I'm going to hit that again. It's pretty transparent. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that anymore. Now, there's this one, and then there's this one that really kind of got extended up. So I think I want that to be a full. I may lose part of that, but I don't think so. I'm looking at it here. It's darker, so I'll just make that darker. And now I'm going to come over, and there's a real, I'm going to have to ad-lib this one a little bit because it didn't come out quite, came pretty close to what I was painting, but not quite. All right, through here, there, and there, and this movement is really there, and it rolls a bit. A little different than what I got, but that's okay. Now there's another one that comes off like that. And then I'm going to make a cap to it, I guess a top piece. And then there's a shadow back there that'll get defined. And these here are darker, much darker actually. And then there's little squagglers this way and that way. So. Fix this. This is going to be kind of an ad-lib deal right here, I think. Because I made the flower a little bigger, but that's okay. I'll cut the background in later. And let's see, right here, there's this. I want a sharp line on that, so I'm going to make an edge and get any excess off so I can make a sharp line here. This little gizmo right there, and it comes there, and I'm not even sure where it comes off anymore. It comes off there, I think. And I'm going to go like that, develop that as something that's coming out, but I'm going to leave that like that. I probably won't touch that. And some shadowing to happen in here will help bring this out. There's really a nice detail, and then there's this bud that comes down. It's pretty visible on this, and it's right about here. So I'm going to kind of put it in. It's not exactly where I had it, but it's a little bit further down. And I'm going to put a little bit of Naples yellow into this now. Warm it up. And not quite that much. I'm going to try real hard to start working in the middle of this because I'm going to take a little bit of lavender into this. This is Provence Violet. It's one of my favorite colors. And I'm just going to darken this down, and that's about right. It's just about on target. There you go. All right. That doesn't happen often. I'm going to hit that there because it is light. And I don't necessarily want to. I have to work on that a bit. It can be over a bit. I'm going to take it that way. I'm going to move it that way a bit. Okay. All right. So that'll help that immensely. I'm going to take a little bit of alizarin orange. Now, alizarin orange is from Williamsburg. I'm going to put that mark right there. And I'm going to go back and get a little bit more. Since I've started it, I'm just going to kind of make that shape like that. And when I get into the greens and stuff like that, I'll work on it more. Of course, that did put me into green, I guess. So that I gotta, this will get all blurred up anyway by the time it's all done. Now, I'm going to come out here and take some oxide green, take the alizarin orange and throw it into it. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in now as opposed to later. All right. There we go. All right. And then there's a a little bit of a line. Goes like that. So I kind of have that in there now. All right, so I should have improved it dramatically. Now, since I've got that kind of color, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in a little bit. Start getting a green cast to it. And there's some leaves, and I'll use this reference actually for this group of leaves through here, so it'll all kind of form up nice. Okay, so that was a big improvement. I'm going to take this out. I just don't like it. No point keeping something you don't like. Regardless, I'll just adjust it a bit. It'll come through there. This leaf will go over, and that'll put that in a bit behind. So that'll be a nice detail. Yeah, that'll work nice. Looks a little wobbly, but that'll be okay. All right, I'm going to pull this thing. Oh, I see something else there that wasn't showing up. Until I put that in, it showed its face. It's part of this the shadowing down here, and it comes right off of there. And a little bit too dark, but that's sure not quite the right color. All right, but I can use it right here. Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, okay. And in here, let's see, make sure I don't get into anything I was going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of the red. Linzer and crimson, because out of there comes a little bit of red. And actually on this one I don't see it in any other place, so I'm not going to improvise too much there. Clean my brush a little bit. I'm going to go back into white, a little bit of medium. And I saw something in here I wanted to deal with. If I can find it again. Good mark. Okay. Maybe that'll be a good mark. It's a good start anyway. And then I'll pop that a bit more. Because that's a bud. Or not a bud, but a petal. And there's some stuff that has to happen, and it will happen in the shadows. So I'm going to add a little blue to my shadows here. See if I can't make a little bit of that noise. Oh, that was nice. It is a little darker. Like that, it'll come out. Keep going with the flower, regardless of how this works. This is much darker. Could still be darker. So I'm going to put this red in there. Be nice when I get a little mud here, so I can start to pull dark colors. A little more yet. Kind of. Yeah, that's better maybe. It has to read at 30 feet, regardless. And if it does, there's a very good chance that the painting is right. Now, this is that shadow I didn't have in there, and I'm going to put in, I'm going to add a little blue to it, because it's deeper in, and I don't want to mess that piece up I've got there. I like that. Come across, I'm going to very carefully not mess with it. Alright, then there's this one. And I'm ad-libbing at this point. They're not exactly in the same place, which is fine. And I'm going to come up. I'm just going to make a mark. It's that thing that was coming down this way, but I'm going to make it like, I think that's okay. Kill it there. And I'm going to put this petal behind. I want this to come forward. I'm going to put this kind of behind. And I'm going to remove that. Don't quite have it in there exactly right, but it's the, I'm going to try one more time here. Well, maybe. I'm going to put another one of those. I'm going to extend this out. And I'm going to clean my brush to a point again. So I'm going to a lighter color. I want to make it lighter, what I've already got. So I'm going to take this one, do that. There we go. And then this is more like that. More like that shape. That's a better shape. Okay. And then this. There. I pulled it forward now. You may or may not be able to see that, I'm not sure, but it's there. Okay. I'm going to leave that because I don't want to go too much in the weeds there and overwork it at this point. It's got some rhythms to it, which I like. Always. Soften that a bit. I'm going to darken it out again before it's over. And I still don't like that so much, but I'm going to darken that. Now we got a little mud there. It's a little easier to darken something when you want to. And come through here and make a couple of marks that way. And it'll all make sense at some point. And that helped. Okay, looking at it from a different view. Shows up some things. So I thought I was getting off of it, but not so much. That gets darker. Well, that's pretty dark. But that'll be alright. I'll just kind of hit it again. And that actually will work. Strangely. And there's that. I've got the right color now for that other piece right there. Not sure that's going to stay, but make sure this thing has got some flow to it. All right. One more thing to the next one. A lot of white. Right in here, I want to do something like that. I'm using, it looks like this brush is going to kind of go away on me. It's okay. It's done its job, earned its keep, let's say. I want to do another one, kind of like that. All right. Okay, I think this is going to be part of that. Don't want to mess that up. All right. Now I've got some mud to go into this next one that should really make it nicer. And get a little of the darker. And this is pretty dark through there. And hopefully I'm talking loud enough because this is turning out to be a very long clip. But the reality of it is sometimes when you start to make your moves, you have to kind of stay with them until you get them where you want them. And that's kind of happening here. I'm going to take that alizarin orange and put that in. Whoops, that was a little bit too much. Now just going in. Largely what I'm doing here is I'm re-wetting the painting from where I was yesterday. And it'll be a little more dramatic today, I think, because I appear to be in a mood to paint. There's no interruptions that I know of, other than Scarlett going after Riley, which she has a tendency to do sometimes. Speaking of Riley, or Scarlett, I mean. Okay. Let's see. I got that color. I might be able to do something here. Take some of the stuff out I don't want. It's right here. It's on this one. Not sure. Leave it alone for now. All right, I'll take all of this and I'm just going to come in and put it over here, and that's going to become a mud pile that I can do shadows and stuff with, and just mix it up there. And I can adjust that to just about any shade that I want to, and come back. And I think this brush still has a really good point. All right, I want to go back into white. A fair amount of it. And I don't want quite that yellow. Well, that was Naples yellow, but I don't, and it is kind of warm over here, so I was doing that move right there. There is a move that I thought was part of this one, but it's not. It's part of that one. Perfect. And I want to, I think I will come like that and round it down a bit. That's actually turning out to be a good color. And from there, there's one that shapes up from there. Make sure I'm not standing in front of the camera. Wouldn't that be a shame to go through all this and stand in front of the camera? Alright, okay. And then this, now I'm just going to kind of go into this. Yeah, there you go. Full bore. And I think I better check Scarlett because she may be at the door. So I'm gonna make one more move. And it's right there. It's a big move. And there's some moves that way. Alright. Go see if she's in distress. This actually working pretty good. I watched a little bit while the dogs took a little deck break, and now I have to figure out where I was. That's the. Let's take a little white. I just want to put a little white right there. I took my glasses off because I don't really need the glasses for certain things. And that's one of them. And I'm going to kind of go in, I think I'm going to go into this one. Yeah, that's where I was anyway. Okay, perfect. A little bit of, that last segment was pretty long. It was 24 minutes. But that was pretty good. You notice I'm going in to the center there, quite deliberately like that. And then there's a little piece like that. And this goes in more like that, so I'm just going to go in like that and just smooth that. I guess I am going to be getting a new brush. I don't like when they start to lose their hairs, especially when they've still got a nice shape to them. But $2 or $3 a piece, can't complain, and I won't. Nice little thing there, and another counter move there, which will kind of get shaped up a little later. And I'm going to make some moves like that, a little more medium. And let's see, go back and do that again. There, and comes up like that. Kind of resolving the exterior shapes and coming in and covering stuff. Kind of a quick move, I guess. And I'm going to go up like that. It kind of marries into that. I'm going to come a little higher. Bam. Put that in there. It's a very decisive type shape. And I'm going to, not quite yet. Let it kind of dry a bit. And right out through here, I'm just going to emphasize that again, and emphasize that. So that goes into all this dark, which I'm just going to merge all that stuff in like that. Pull some of this out this way, round that way. They really are beautiful flowers. And we'll take a little bit of the mud at the end of this thing and kind of shape up this tier. There's a tier there. And that kind of works. And okay, let's get this area just a little bit more. Take all this paint. I'm going to make a counter shape right there. Not a counter, but it's actually going to go with this one. But it goes against that. And I'm going to take just a little bit of lavender, Provence purple, or Provence violet, I mean. And I'm going to kind of come this way, and that way, and that way. Okay. A little bit of movement that way. Notice I'm making quick right or wrong they're in. And there as well. Another one. And another one. And go in the shape. There's a shadow up into this. I'm going to take this color up into it. May take a couple of tries here. But I can pretty much see what it's doing. The nice thing about painting shapes, you don't necessarily know what you're painting, but eventually it's there. Okay. This could be a short clip because I'm going to come right back. Interesting enough, the mic doesn't pick up Pandora, which is good. I don't get any copyright laws or anything. I cleaned up the palette a little bit while I was off, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this, scrape some of that area. And if the volume on this session should be a little low, turn the volume up on your computer. That's what I did, and it's there. It's very clear and clean. Now, this looks pretty good through there. There's some little bit of stuff I'll take off and have to clean up through this area, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'll do that with junk later. I think I'm going to work on these two elements right here. And this, I believe that was really part of a sculpture that was back in behind this thing when this photograph was taken, or its leaves that the light was hitting on, which is possible. It could be a flower. It could also be a flower way back in there too. But anyway, starting to move my colors this way. I always lay them out the same way, and then all of these are in the sequence that they're in the palette, so that you can see that. And when I do the close-ups, which I do in editing, I won't show a lot of that. Every once in a while I will, but mostly I show this. And this detail here I'll show close up. One of the problems may be that the camera is not able to get quite the depth that I want. But I'll deal with that. I'm going to darken that a bit there because they're kind of and then there's, this was one I was just going to put in, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and add that gold. It kind of carries this gold through all the way and down to the frame. And I think I'll just go ahead and highlight that a bit right there just while I'm thinking about gold. And this comes that way. And the question is, well, I just need to do a little work on this while I'm in the mood to rock and roll with it. And I guess I'll be retiring this brush after this one. This one I just have to simply ad-lib on. So I want to start breaking a bit. I think. Take a little of this mud, grease my mud pile a bit. Yeah, right, so that thing right there, I didn't exactly know what it was, has now become part of that. shape here that I like. I don't like that so much. I do like that better. And then I'm just going to tip that edge to define it a bit. Okay. I need to move. Just going to go like that. All right, that works. And I'm going to, so not exactly where, that wasn't such a good move right there. And that's not going to be there. And I'm going to extend this out. And that's going to be the inside. Alright, that might work. Then I can take a little bit of red, break that like that, and I'll let this marinate a bit. See if I like it or not when the final analysis comes down. I don't mind breaking that a bit. And that resolves whatever that was back there, whatever it was, I don't really know. But I do think it was a flower of some sort. I'll take a little lemon yellow. Oops, well, it's more than I want, but I'm just going to take that. And pop that. Sometimes you just take a different approach on how you do your highlight with a different color. I was using Naples. This time I took lemon yellow, or light, and did it, and it stands out a bit more than it would otherwise. And kind of work up the, there we go. Tomorrow it might be better, or even later today, depending on how long I paint, that that may be nice. That's a little too much yellow. Don't need that quite that much, but so a little bit of shadowing in there, or I just simply make a move like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave that yellow because honestly, that might work. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. So there's a little bit of touch up in there, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do now. Since this brush might get retired here soon, I'm going to come in like this and clean that up. Just darken it at this point. There we go. I can add other colors to bring it in to the background like that. I want to fix that because I don't necessarily want that there. So I'm just going to kind of scoop that up a bit, come in a little. Same goes for there. And I'm going to kind of clean that up. All right, now I've got to do this right in here. basically I'm using ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson and maybe a little bit of gold, just to, and see what that flower looks like. Go off there on a deep end or something, and I guess it could come like that, and that would be all right. And that's, yeah, define that a little bit so it's clearer and cleaner. Come up this way, and just clunk like that. See how nice that works? And then I just want to come along and sweep that edge a little bit so it's soft. And let's see, I think we get some more of that. And take a little bit of green. Let's see. That's okay. I'm going to darken that down a lot. So your eye goes to it somewhat. There's a little movement that's kind of running through there. And I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to carry it up to there. Oops. That's better. Not perfect, but it's better. Alright, now I want to, this right in here was one of the areas that I want to kind of work on. This all kind of works. But it's right in there. And I think I'm going to come down like that to get a definition from this so that there's no idea, no confusion there as to where that belongs. And that isn't in there. So this side needs to be punctuated a bit. There, that helps. So I've got this dark. Where can I punctuate? There. I think I'll do it right there. We'll kind of go with that, whatever that is. And all right, Chuck, speak up. That takes care of that. That becomes a leaf. Maybe. It could come out. And I think I want to close that up. There we go. Make a few marks this way and that way. Carry that one color that goes all the way through there, carries up from this. And I think I'll just do that. All right. Make that little move. And well, I think I'll make that move. Because I want the eye to continue on over to there and out. And I'm not married to the references at all. So kind of setting up to go into the leaves because I've kind of sorted this out. This one needs the third or the fourth, I guess. And maybe that'll happen today, and there's a good chance it will because I'll clean up this whole area right through there and finish it out. I'm not going to do it quite yet. I'll let that set. But I'm going to come over to these flowers because there's one here that shows this flower on this side. And I kind of got it right. Just not... that is a flower back there. Now, when I'm looking at it this way, it does look like a flower. I'm getting hoarse. I'm really not used to talking as continuous, but this might be good for my voice. Now, honestly, I think I might put that back in. A little indecision there, but it's not really, because I kind of see what it's doing now. I'll just take that yellow like that. There's a leaf right there. And then I'm going to come down and do that. I think that made it more interesting. It's also carrying a little bit of that yellow. And this right there. And that'll be a leaf, I guess, because that's what it looks like to me. And then this, I'm going to come right through that I just put in, and I'm going to come that way, go up and around, and I'm going to shape it just a little bit more. Now I've got some warm color, and this might even go into a third, fourth, or whatever. Deal. I put some shadows in yesterday because I wanted to make marks like this. And I gotta watch myself here. I don't get in front of the camera. Got a little dirt there. I don't like dirt. Dirt's different than mud. This might not be the right brush to do this with, which is really a good chance. Yeah, it's floating too much. But I like how that works. And there's a lot of this yellow green back in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of suggest. That worked. I like that very much, in fact. That could be another flower. In fact, I think it was. There was something else going in there. But I need a softer brush to very lightly go over this area. So there's no point fiddling with it too much. See, now I'm kind of covering up a little bit of that, but I'm going to leave a lot of it. I promise you that. And this goes that way. And it's got this green in there. So, I'm going to make that green. Mix it up with a lot of stuff, but I think this might be the right brush to do it with. Doesn't quite show up. Add a little white to it and see if it will. Yeah. The brush is kind of expired. So there's a leaf. I didn't mean to get into the leaves quite as quickly, but I'm going to. And to use a lot of medium to make sure that this thing flows. This brush does have a nice edge to it, regardless. As long as you get enough medium, it'll make good marks. There is a leaf that there. Go there first, and that leaf goes like that. Make it twice, goes like that. Nice, I like that. That worked well. the rest of it hasn't necessarily, but that has. And there's a leaf right there. It comes off the center of that. Kind of darkened the edge there a bit because it's going to have to get dark before it's over. Take a little purple into this thing. Green and purple work well together. Let's see. They make good shadows for green. All right. I know that goes that way, and then I'm going to put the leaf this way, I think, instead. That's not a very good leaf. Too dark, actually, but not too dark for this. And these leaves here, which is what that is, I just have to make a better green. Really wasn't ready to go into the leaves, but now I am. There's that one. And this one's kind of like that. Kicks up. More. I'll take the dark and make that dark right there. That works nice. And then there's another one. And I know I'm mumbling, sorry. I'm going to darken outside of that a bit. And I'm going to come back to this because it's where I made that leaf show up. And it'll be underneath, it won't be on top. And I need to have some light into this. So I'm going to take two little piles and start running them. And doom, doom, doom. This could be a leaf coming this way. Just put it in. And I'm going to come back into these flowers right here, and that I wonder. I'm going to do something. It's a little bright, but I'm going to do something else with it. So I've kind of set it up for what I want to do. I'm coming this way. Put it in like that. Oops, I don't want that so much, but I want it darker. And I want this darker. Anyways, I created an edge. Well, I lost the edge, but I get it back another way. But I was creating an edge there by painting it that way. And maybe I'll try it again. And it worked. Just have to fix it up a bit here. Going to get the dark. There it goes. I'm not sure what else it'll do, but you can use the same concept for this. That helped there. And it's very similar here too. And I don't dislike that being the way it is. A little noise on it doesn't hurt. I don't like this right here. So what I think I'll do is cross it with a leaf from the other way and go this way with it. And just kind of block it out. Let's see if there's anything else that I can do here. That did kind of help that. I don't like that right there. But I'll come over it with, whenever I do the next to go on that, I'll come over it and fix it. Alright. And, alright. I'm not sure I improved that flower at all, but I'm going to go back and look at it at 30 feet and see. And move the canvas up a bit so we can see it at eye level. That improved it a lot. Actually, I like that. It has to have a little bit of work in there, but not much. And this is still needs work. This would probably be Scarlett's saying she's got to go. Okay, that project, that chore is done, hopefully, for a while. Cleaned up the palette a little bit and decided that I'm going to do this portion right there next. I want to start lightening this up. I want to clean up this edge. Primarily, I want to clean up this edge. And now it's time to do it. And I guess I'll stay with this brush for a while for this part, because this is about green and just use a lot of medium and stuff like that. And the first one I'm going to do is this one, and I'm going to shape it a little bit, re-wet it, if you will, and it'll come down. I'm going to change the direction of it a little bit too, and there we go. I got it re-wet, and I'm just going to take a little bit of Egyptian purple into that and create this shadow for the first part of it, which is, I believe, this little edge there. That last clip was over 25 minutes, so I'm going to have to get a little bit serious about this thing. Well, I don't mean that exactly. Alright, that's good. And that's good. And that's right, there's a leaf right there. And that shows up kind of like that. And there's a line that comes through that thing. Let's get that down where I can see it. And this just goes to dark green, so I'm just going to add more chromium into this. Take a little bit of the permanent light. I'm going to work out this way from it, like that. Flat brushes are really pretty good. So I'm going to darken it over here. And let's see, we have to figure out how to make this thing. Yeah. There, that's good. Shadow going that way. And now I'm really painting wet and wet, because I've wet the whole thing sort of. And that line is kind of there, so that sets it up a bit. And there's a leaf. There's another leaf under there, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that. I'm going to do this one and put in some dark first, and then go for light, because I want to start bringing the eye out. Now I'm just going to take my junk over here to do that light with. I'm going to go ahead and just do an outer shape on that, like that. Kind of just make some moves like that make a little sense. I have gotten so I have more affection for these leaves. I'm starting to get the feel of them, and that kind of works there. I'm going to take a little of this yellow because I want a little more acidy. Like right here, I'm going to go in from this way, in, to create the backlight that's kind of happening. Some of it's backlight, some of it's not. Scarlet. Alright, she's going to show Raleigh who's boss in this family. I guess that's alright. He seems to be okay with that. Alright, break that edge up just a little bit. I'll do a little back shaping on it. There's another, I'm going to reinforce that line right there as well. And since I've got this color, there's a highlight right there that I'm going to pick up and just kind of put in. I might not have to do much to these, tomorrow. And let's see, come in and just swiggle that edge a bit. I think that's works well. All right, I'm going to take that same color right there, and I'm going to make this bigger. It's that leaf right there. Basically, I'm having to wet the leaves, but you know, that's kind of okay. I want to cross that. So that stem is coming from there. I just want to cross it and break it. Then I'm going to go into the, oh, goodness gracious, good thing we have a camera on that. And that kind of works pretty good, I think. And then I think we'll have a little light that will come onto that. And so I'm going to take that brighter green with a little lemon yellow maybe, just to make it a little brighter. More like that. Yeah, more like that. And I'm going to just put it right there. Kind of subtly come out and pick it up there. Hopefully that'll work. I'm just going to go ahead and blur it a bit. And I want to do some more of that green into the light green. I want acid. It's going to mix with the other, and hopefully this works, but you know, who knows. Yeah, there it goes. picks the key up. And there as well. Get rid of that little spot. And it's not a bad color to take right in through here. There. And up. Since I am about color and light, I kind of exaggerate that sometimes. And all right, I'm not gonna go up to there yet. Let's see. I think I'm pretty happy so far. Now I'm gonna shift references to see how that picks up. Okay. I think I can move to this reference because I think this is the leaf right here. Yeah. I'll put that piece of green right there because I see it right there. Boom, it's right there. Okay. I'm going to emphasize this. This is coming out of this, so this has to be dark, and it is dark actually. And okay, then this one, I'm going to lighten up this, intensify it there, and there's another one in behind it that I think I'll just start to slide in at this point. We'll take the dark. We'll have to make some more dark. My dark was made out of the chromium green and the Egyptian purple or dioxin. They're both the same. And we'll put a little blue in it to relieve it a bit. Might be too dark, I'm not sure. Let's see, where was I? I was right here. Now the inside of that leaf I'm going to make dark. So it pops it a bit. And I didn't want to do that much, but that'll be okay. And right here, this leaf is a little bit darker. And like that. And then this one is very dark. Right here. Like that. That's the shape. And the truth of the matter is there is a leaf. I don't want to put that in yet. Don't want to confuse this painting here in any way, shape, or form. So now I'm just going to go back and take this and add the chromium to it. And that'll give me an intermediate green that I need here to kind of soften this. And that's working very well. Make it a little bit bigger. There, that's good. And I'm going to kind of just create a shadow there from that leaf to the one that's below it. Create a thing there. And then this one, I don't know why I must have just put it in. Let's review this. This is this one right here is where I started. So I need to clean the brush and go in for this light. We'll put a little blue into it. A little blue there. Well, not going to give me blue so easily. But I'm going to take it anyway. Alright, that's kind of close to what this color is here. And I'm going to let it go over this one. And it's like this. And interesting enough, I see it now. Didn't quite the way I had it, or the way I thought it was. That's going to get blurred out when I do that, so I'm not going to try to correct it here at this point. this one does this. Goes up like that. And there's a scoop in there. And then it comes to an end, which I'll do later. And the question is, where does the darn thing come from? Because it's got to have a place to go. It's probably from this. Alright. I get to mumbling. I think it's probably there. Connects in somehow that way, even though it's going against the, oh, I see. It's doing that kind of thing. So we don't want to do that. Take some dark and let's get rid of that. Oh, pronto. I could fake that by something else, but I still want to keep it. And let's see, I want to get a nice shape on this. So we got that one. I'm going to take blue into this, because that's what I was using a lot of when I was doing that area. And I'm going to back paint it a bit. Maybe a little more. There we go. I'll get that dark by putting dioxin purple in there. A little more. Actually, I'll just use the blue with red. That's how I did this area. There we go. Now it's standing out. There we go. And probably have to put my glasses on to figure out how that one actually works. I do like the fact that Pandora is not picking up on this mic. It was one of the real problems that I was having in doing the editing. It's not quite the right color, but it's close. Let's see, I was right here. I want to get this in. There you go. Now, those leaves are actually coming off of this like that, and that could be coming off another one. Oh man, there's one right here like that. Alright. If I'm standing in front of this, I really do apologize. Alright, that's better. This is actually not a bad color for this particular thing. So I'll put some of this in. And these leaves come off like that. And there's a leaf that goes across that. And there's sometimes that helps, highlighting something deep in. All right. This is like getting into the last 15 minutes. It's noodling. But that has a lot of blue. I may have to pull a different color to pull this off. Just can't seem to make it. Now it's kind of close. It's actually kind of close. Blue generally represents light, and it's going to come off of this and that. So these are leaves that are not even in there yet, but there are some suggested in the back, which is okay. This is right there, and I'm sure you can pretty much see this. So basically this, I could have made this a couple of different ways, but in this case I used ultramarine blue, and then I just put a little lemon yellow in it and a lot of white. And that's going to hit there. And these are really deep in. But we need something to lighten this area right up here. So I'm going to put that in, because there is a leaf back there and it is hitting the light like that. I'm just going to have to find a way to make it look like a leaf. And that may have done it right there, I don't know. And make a mark. There's a lot of that in this. And then there's a shape kind of like that. It's kind of working up. And there's a leaf there that it's in there where this is, and that's okay. I don't care if I don't get that. There's a really pretty leaf right here I might be able to bring out. And this is completely in shadow. It's forward, really. So I'm thinking this is one of those leaves I made up. So I think I may come in and lighten that up. Reshape it however it has to be. I can make that come over, that I can fix, do whatever I want to do with that. But I'm going to come in and darken that. And these are pretty dark leaves back up in through here that come out. And I get some medium on this. I don't like paint when it drags. And, well, it's the shapes, right or wrong. This just gets tricky, and trickier. I'm going to add some red to this and darken this down. And darken that down too. It's just too high key. And make that a little bigger. Break it up with cross strokes on the move that way. These were just cross strokes. They just break up stuff. And a good practice to get into. Don't know that I like that, but I'm going to darken it. Make it just kind of create background noise that's coming down, so I could pick that up there. And then come back with this other tone and just pop it. That's too dark, or too light, I mean. So all I have to do there is just darken it down. That takes care of that. I'd like to have some cross movements in this. See, everything's going that way. And so I'll figure that out, I guess. I'm just going to come along. Yeah, maybe. And punctuation, dark, deep shadows will take care of some of this as it goes. All right, let's gonna cut this one. I don't want this to be a 2-hour film. But I think next time what I'm going to do is come in and do some punctuation in there and work on this. I'm going to work on this area right through there and then take a break and pick this back up a little bit after lunch. The dogs want to eat. And I haven't had breakfast. I've been going since, I don't know, 6:30 this morning. And I'm going to change brushes to the filbert to do this little thing. I'm going to put my glasses on as well. This isn't all that bad through there. But there's some white highlights and that I need to get in. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to go to the vase. That last clip was longer than the previous one. So let me get this over where I can see it at least. So this is toned. But now it needs to have the white highlight. This is probably going to be the hard part to do. Oh, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, that's kind of the way it's going to have to happen, I think. All right. Okay, I'm going to get back to this thing. You may be able to see this, I don't know. It's really close. But now I'm just following shapes. That's about the only way I can do this. And more medium chuck. Medium's a little bit dirty. Oh man, I just hope we don't lose this. It's just way more shadows in there apparently. And I really do like this area. I don't want to mess it up. Yesterday we put a lot of shadowing in this, and now it has to be brought back again. And now this is going to be major. Yeah. I think go like that. This really needs to be done with it. Even a different brush. And that's the little lady demanding to come back in. Well, it's going to sit out there for a minute. Okay. That's a bit of a problem here. There's more shadows that got to go into this. So, that's some of it has to be done with a flat brush. Don't want this thing to look sloppy. So, I'm going to go ahead and throw all this medium into this pile. I'm going to take these glasses and kind of put them over here. Put the medium down. I really don't want this to go into a 7th session at all. So, I think I'm going to work on that. Just change focus, and maybe I'll get in a better place. And I need one other color. I need peacock green, which is a Viridian. If I can get to this quicker than mixing it up with this group. So that would generally go right about in here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create this coloring. And the first one I'm just going to go ahead and put into this thing here. And add a little green to it. That's permanent green light. Kind of emphasize, it's got a little bit overemphasized, but that's all right. Just use that as the base. All right. I'll throw that into there. Clean it. Get this off there so it doesn't get in my way. And start working off the side of this. There's a little bit of yellow in this that I'm going to put in right in through there. And see a little bit there. And I'm going to clean that. Now it goes into that color, the Viridian, pretty much as the Viridian is, or not how it is, but with a little white in it. And it starts to move off into this color right there, and a lot of it there. I'm just going to come in and get some pure. Got to get some paint on this thing before you can really do much with it. And then there's a little bit of blue to that. There's also blue in this, sort of this side like that, you see. So I'm going to be fairly loose about this for the moment. I'm not sure how this is going to. All right. And it needs the peach color, I guess, but we'll take some rose into all of this and see what happens. I just need to have a contrast to this to make it work. Like that, you see. So the rose into all those other colors, or not rose, but alizarin crimson, into all these other colors is starting to make that work. And that's good. And it gets much darker over there, so I could maybe take purple into this dioxin, which will convert it to a little bit into the blue side, like that. And kind of break it there. That's kind of works. So that is the color. At least I'm in the right family of this thing. And take some, I think I'll, that's maybe where it, okay, that might work. Get the reference out of the way. Okay, I wasn't exactly, but I think I like this. And yeah, there you go. Just needed to get a little mud going there, I guess. Putting Naples yellow into the alizarin in this whole mix gives me that copper. I really wasn't going to do it quite as specific as this, but maybe I come back in with white colors later. I'm darkening that up a bit. It's really in shadows. And come down like that. And now it's time to shape the leaf, I guess. Just get that thing for the heck of it. A little dark. Darken that down just a bit. And then the shadows on the side. Well, not exactly how I plan to do it. A little bit of the wrong color there, but that was how I planned to do it. And that just brings this leaf right out. And then I can come in and suggest shadows into that and work into that new color that I just put in. That doesn't work too bad. Take the same color and reinforce that recess with the purple. I kind of like that. That'll have to be darker. That's where I'll go with Prussian and alizarin. I can get off of that, Chuck. I want this thing perfect. In the shadows, it's more of the blue. Goes to lavender. A little bit of that over here. Just slipping away. Has some texture to it. And I think I'm going to go these two colors, pure ape. Go that way. that a little later. I'm going to take that same color on up into the purple, like that. See? It's kind of following the rainbow or the prism. There we go. I like it. Not where I originally was, but it works. I'm just going to kind of suggest that. And put some of that, get rid of that paint down there. I'm going to fix that little area up there. So it's kind of taking all these colors, putting a little viridian with it, maybe. Because it's definitely not a highlight there. Gonna hit that. Remember, I didn't get into that leaf too much because I was going to do this. I want it to come down. And then I want to get some of these opalescent colors made to create a little bit of a highlight there, like that. And it's very possible that I could have a cast shadow that way. Break that up. There you go. All right. Well, I didn't plan it to go that way, but that's the way we're going. And I'm going to take all this. I want some, oops, got carried away there, I think. Okay, I want to be able to make big strokes at this point. I don't want to fool around about it. And this wasn't the color I was going to make it, but I was actually going to follow the reference that close. But stuff happens. And I want this to be darker. Break up that edge pretty. Move them along. And it's got to have a little more purple in it, and I'll put that with the alizarin. Yeah, it's a little bit dark, but I'm just kind of move it into this color. That's good. Just going to move it right into it. And take some of my gold color. Yep, that works pretty well. The gold meaning the alizarin orange. It's a very saturated color. And let's see, it moves. What really happens here is that the iridescence goes from the lavender to blue, and then it mixes there. And I'll just get this part in so it's wet, so I can do wet and wet on this. Alright, I'll take this, go back into the alizarin. I want to beef up this color, this flesh color, whatever it is. I'm not sure what you call it. Terracotta. And like that, see. Then you go back in. And create some movements. bring certain things back out again. And that's just add a little bit of cadmium yellow to it. Yeah, because I want it richer than what it is. Gonna do it. And this is going to have a bottom, so I'm going to get it wet. Alright. Alright. Now, I can take some of this lighter color, or this mud that I've got over here, hopefully when it moves with this, yep, it does do it. It'll give me that transition into the peach that you need. Your opalescence is fun to paint, or at least I like to paint it. Somewhere along the line I kind of got into it. Well, actually I got into it really big in California. I was one of the first designers to start using it in furniture. And while you might have thought that people didn't like it, or would have stepped back from that, they just stepped into it big time. Now I'm just kind of getting any highlights that I don't want. And I think I kind of got the, now there is kind of a different deal. I have to put some white out. Move this over and go like that. Just get the thing clean, because I don't want to interrupt the flow of what's going on right now at all. So there's a highlight in the bottom, which I would actually have. In fact, I've done this a similar base. I don't think I've done this particular one, but I have done a similar one. And one of the first floral peonies that I did many years ago. And I have colors here already, so I'm going to don't want it to go the other way on me. I want it really to go, yeah, there you go. That's almost pure Naples yellow. But it's mixing into these other things, so that kind of what making it work. And while I'm doing this, there is a highlight that comes off of this that I'm just going to take right down there at this point. And there is another one on this side. There, and there's one there, and there's one there. Some cross marks. And then there's some that kind of go up like this. And I'm just going to take this up and drag it from the first time in the shape of the direction of the thing. Okay, and I'll just blend that out. That worked pretty good. Now I'll come back in with that original color this way, or that And it still needs to be much lighter, so I'm going to put a little white in it for the heck of it. Colors are starting to get a little muddy here. And I want it to be right there, and that's not quite doing it. I want it to be right there, and that's not quite doing it. Okay? So, lighten it up again. That kind of started to do it. There's no highlight there, so it's not going to have that color. I'm going to make a different color. I'm just going to use Wand Brilliant, one of my other favorite colors. Again, from Williamsburg, there are a number of people that make it. They make it from light to dark to a number of ways, but what I like about it is it has a little different, doesn't have quite as much yellow, I guess. That right now I need a color change, and I think I've got it now. Nope, but it is a good color, so I'm going to keep it. Don't know whether it goes with the painting or not, but I like it. Just step back and. Alright. Oh, I know where I wanted to use it. I wanted to create a highlight right there. Comes down, break it up a bit. Like that. And break that, go like that. Whoops, don't want to do that. That we don't want to do. I don't like that. I don't mind some things, but I don't like that. And there's another one that way. And I think I'll take this. Put that there. And kind of want to lighten that area up a bit more. Okay, now, since this has really changed a lot, I'm going to modify the color of that up there a bit, like that. And there's a couple of colors that I'm going to put in here in minutes after I look at this. Too much of that there. I'm going to get back and see if I like this. I don't care for that so much, that dark line, but I'm going to come in and work on this area so I can back do it. Okay. That was a lot more fun than messing around with the leaves. All I gotta say is that that works. Who'd have guessed? Me, maybe. Well, this is where I was going, but it's where I'm heading. That looks great from 30 feet. Now I just have to connect the painting and this stuff down here. And I may, I'm going to take a break for a while. This thing is going on for a long time, and get off my feet and let this marinate a bit. Feed the dogs. This is really going to be a long session. And tomorrow's even going to be longer. But anyways, I like that. That was a good move. That thing looks like it's iridescent back there. Probably needs to be knocked down a bit, but right now, looking good. Okay, this is going to be the last clip on this, or the last clip on this session. Really gotten pretty tired. But so I thought what I would do is I would take all this pile that. And I might throw a little of this into the light's going to go. Just too much of that. Just see what kind of color we get. Mossy green. So let's see. Kind of think about that. I just wonder how that would look. There's a color there. I don't know. Not so sure about that. I'm sorry for getting in front of the camera. Didn't mean to do that. And so I'm just going to make a line to establish with clarity. I do think we've solved the sound problem. It's kind of an interesting thing. What I'll do is take all the purple and the rest of the blue, and see what happens. Okay, it's just plain. I'm not getting anywhere with this, but I think that helped. I was going to run a lot of white into that. And probably still should. This could be a good shadow color though, especially if I put a little neutralizer green into it. Take this. Rest of the yeah, let's just do that. Well, that's just about the same color I had a minute ago. It's just alright. Well, I'm not sure it gets me anywhere. Just a waste of paint. Try some more colors here and see if something comes out of that. Kind of tired. Oh, okay, that kind of works. Maybe. I'm just kind of thinking that isn't working. So I think I'll just kind of flatten that out there, because it will be a drape. I'm not so sure about that, but it does form up there. That helps. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that. Not at this point, anyway. Yeah. I think it could work. Do one more thing. It's what I would call experimentation. I don't normally do this quite this much. And a little bit of that there. Ran out of it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's just good paint after bad. But there might be something that I can do here. Well, just kind of a problem, isn't it? Let's see if I can. Generally, if I get going, I can sort everything out. Let's just go like that. And yeah, that might give me something, I don't know. I don't feel like putting any more paint on it. One thing I can do is paint drape. Well, maybe. I don't know. Let's just all say it's maybe. I'm going to throw some of this yellow in and see what happens. I do have it coming into this painting, and I've done it before. And I think I'll just take this and mess with it a bit. Yeah. It's kind of working like a little squeegee. I just wonder what this will do. Never know. Brings it back again. It's so level. Bust that edge up. Alright, well. It's going to be kind of a long one. I've already edited about 30 minutes.